Ooh, wonderful. We'll take that. Rob, you're very wonderful. I want the people at home to know that. I hope both of our teams are also wonderful today, or at least as wonderful as our
Where's Keanu
desk.
Reeves? Can we just have him yell? What was it? I can't remember yet. You're beautiful? Was that what he had at the Game
You're
Awards?
beautiful? Oh, yeah, the Game I was like, which of the many Keanu Reeves references are you trying to make in this example? For the Cyberpunk,
you know what he said
was
that
the
one time in
Matrix?
The Matrix?
Yeah, that one thing.
Yeah.
I'm the one or whatever. Yeah, sure. Got it. We'll see. I mean, 80 carries for the story. We'll see if one of them can step up, become the one today. Right now, that seems like it's Carzzy, but I think as highlighted on the desk by Medic and GB, Flakked obviously looking really solid this split overall, and kind of a nice little light of hope for a Team Heretics lineup that right now is lacking an identity, but potentially some room to play around him as an individual, set him up to really be the star of the show, the person getting the resources and the priority in picks and bans to start to take over.
Yeah, I've definitely preferred when they tried to enable Flakked, but I think I agree with what Medic was saying in the desk, is that this team kind of lacks an identity, and I think giving that, you know, cross the bear to Flakked is going to be the best room for improvement for Heretics. But we'll have to see as we start to get into the draft, because already he's been targeted a little bit. Senna gone, Varus gone. Do we get the Corki gone as well? Because at least after that we saw him drift down into things like the Jhin as his last option to play.
And the Jhin, not a pick that I'm a super big fan of, not a pick that usually carries games, right? Can obviously do a lot of work, but much more about the utility that it provides. And in a meta with so many tanky picks, I can't imagine it coming through. But yeah, well, they're very clear where they are targeting, and it is Flakked. Do not want to let him be comfortable whatsoever. And on Team Heretics on the opposite side, because you're seeing all these 80 carry bans, they're put in a position where they just have to ban away both of the premier top laners. Yesterday we saw a lot of Skarner for Rumble trades with mixed results. Today Team Heretics banning both, as well as the Tristana.
And it means we'll probably get the Taliyah along the lines here. Although, actually, yeah, so I personally think the Taliyah is really good because you keep that flexibility where you can send into the jungle, you can put it mid, but with the Ivern coming through, we've seen a lot of teams prioritizing this. It's kind of an LEC special, but has worked out relatively well, so we'll have to see how it does up against the Vi, though, who's often one of those other champions that we see taken away.
Vi, obviously, simple, straightforward, reasonably powerful in a lot of circumstances. At Worlds, the pairing, at MSI, the pairing of Taliyah and Vi was perma-banned, both on stage and in scrims. Still obviously pretty powerful on this patch, even if there have been a lot of small changes to the game. So simplicity for the jungle mid duo on the side of Team Heretics, and Vitality unsurprisingly going to lock in the Ezreal. The question is, do they have some sort of either bruiser or scaling hyper carry to pair with this Ivern to get the most value out of it? For now, Carzzy picking up the Ezreal, and again, Carzzy's been looking clean on it. Pays brought it out, which is hugely, validating. Clearly is a champion that, yeah, if you're good at this pick, it's kind of like the Lee Sin of 80 carries, right? It scales with player skill, and if you are good at Ezreal, this is a pick who does, and a champion that does so much. But if you make mistakes, if you're not hitting your Qs, it does absolutely nothing. Zeri, gonna need a few more items, gonna have a lot more reliable impact as we get into those late stage team fights.
Yeah, and that's the thing, unless you are Pays and have to tower dive, you usually kind of get a bit of a free lane against an Ezreal, so Zeri going to be able to scale into that kind of more crit-orientated build that we start to see pop up, so Flakked are going to be very happy, and you still have options as to what you want to pair this with. Because you already have that engage tool in the Vi, you can always go back towards something like the Lulu if you want to. We've also seen Rel oftentimes as an answer into the Leona, unless it's going to be taken away here.
Would be a decent thing to ban. Of course, for Trymbi, 3 games on Nautilus, 1 game on the Rel. Hyilissang has not played the same champion twice. Leona will be the first, the second game on the pick thus far. And I like already that we're seeing a combination of the Ivern and Leona together, something we talked about earlier, Rob. Hyilissang and Lyncas both doing some good things on their own, but haven't really seen them group up and play together, which is going to be important, especially against a team like Team Heretics. While we talk about them lacking an identity, one thing that they fundamentally have been doing reasonably well, both at the tail end of last split and now in this split, is Jankos and Trymbi are usually on the same page.
Yeah, and I think this is where I want to see how, one, Lyncas is going to pair with Hilly, but two, also how he pairs with Vettheo, because you can already see a lot of focus on towards these more AD oriented picks in the mid lane. With the Ivern being there, you want to try and go for some sort of AD pick, but Triss gone. Maybe this is a Jace angle coming through for Vettheo in that mid lane, but we will have to see, as Vitality are still waiting to see what their last pick is going to be. But you have a lot of poke you could opt into here, and then you've got relatively short range on Heretics, but they do have a nice engage tool with Jankos on that Vi.
Relatively short range, perhaps a prediction pun? No, okay, Rakan, a little more conventional. And I will say that double AD carry with the Ivern has been the pretty standard pairing. Again, popularized when Tristana mid was really strong. Tristana mid still very strong. But is there another AD pick? The VTO wants to bust out. Jace is the one that we know from him.
Could be it. That was a bit of a video special as well. So I think it's still kind of leaning in towards that like more poke-oriented style. At least you get a mixture of AP in there, but could be the call.
Could be. Sounds a little hard against the Taliyah Vi, but then again, when I think about it, I don't know really what sounds easy against a Taliyah Vi.
Yeah, that matchup just sucks.
Yeah,
have a good time.
Degrees of terrible is really what it is. LeBlanc, definitely one of the better options. Always have the freedom to dash out when the Vi goes in, at least try to stop the potential flick back follow-up. So a little bit more agency on VTO, not quite able to get the double AD carry pairing, but do get a bruiser on the top side. Again, you really want one champion that's going to pair super well with that Ivern, whether it's a hyper carry or a bruiser, doesn't super matter, but having that Renekton there alongside the Leona makes this pick feel so much better.
Yeah, Ivern definitely helps the Renekton and enables him in that, hey, you can get the Q off, then Renekton's able to follow, get the slice and dice, and it works out very well in trying to solidify quick picks. And I definitely feel like that's what Vitality are trying to go for here. Yes, you have some consistent damage in Carzzy, you can try and play forward, but realistically, it's a lot of burst damage from the Renekton, from the LeBlanc. So try and burst out the Zeri, burst out someone like Zwyroo, and then try and carry the fight from that position.
That said, Poppy now brought in 4 Wunder on the top side of the map, a neutralizing matchup, but a champion that we've seen if it gets a lead can take over even in the 1v1, and a champion that's just going to be incredibly frustrating for Team Vitality to play against. Again, this is a team that, when they're on the same page, when they're clean, look really good, but Poppy and Vi together, Rakan, there's so many tools on Team Heretics that if we see Vitality show any of that weakness, any of that inconsistency where a single member oversteps, Team Heretics are more than equipped enough to punish, to find those kills, and to take Vitality out of this game.
Yeah, I much prefer Heretics draft. It feels like you've got strong mid jungle, you've got great scaling in the Zeri in the bottom side, ton of engage tools to close the distance onto Vitality, and as you already alluded to, Poppy just great into a lot of what Vitality want to do. So we'll have to see if Heretics can try and find that early game success, because that's kind of been where Vitality have come alive in a lot of their games, is in the first 15 minutes, and then it's kind of been after that where it fell apart from yesterday.
Yeah, the mid to late game has been the Achilles heel of many teams here in the LEC domestically. Yesterday, we saw really good looks from the side of Team Vitality, perhaps a resurgence after that 0-3 start to the season. Team Heretics have also been a little bit quiet, but managed to take down KC yesterday. We'll see if they can repeat that here today with Team Vitality. First game of day 2. Ready for an explosive early game, no doubt. Let's get into it. I have never noticed that we can just hear the galloping sound. This is the first time we've just listened to the galloping sound. It is very soothing. I believe that's High Noon Leona for those who want to hear more out-of-base gallops.
I did actually play with Sjoks the other day, who was very happy that she had a horse on the Leona.
That's the best part of those skills. I don't like High Noon Senna at all, but every time you just mount up on the horse on the way to base, I'm like, all right, maybe it's good.
I am better than you. You peasants down below.
That's the most medieval hierarchy class. I have a horse.
That was I ride through.
I've never wanted a horse in my life till right now, Rob. I am a horse girl. I can never go back. Of course, for Carzzy and Hyilly, though, need to see what this bottom lane 2v2 is going to look like. Again, before first base, when Ezreal usually is, you know, depending on the build path these days, there's usually a tier in the mix, there's a Sheen in the mix, which, while it does give you damage via the Q procs, isn't a lot of effective combat stats otherwise. And so pre-first base, Ezreal could do a lot of work in that 2v2 lane, but really need to make the most of the champion kind of being this threat early on, because it's very easy to just get pushed out and do nothing.
Yeah, and usually, well, sorry, not usually, but sometimes we do see Ezreal's trying to take press the attack into matchups like this, so then you can go a little bit more aggressive and use the press the attack to amplify your damage in that situation. But going for the Conqueror is more of a, hey, I'm going to try and have opportunities to weave in auto attacks with my Qs when we get into those later fights, and we're kind of helping that later portion of the game, which is amping up that damage a little bit more. And I think it's a good call when you're looking at, hey, chances are Jankos, Wunder, even Trymbi are all going to be within auto attack range. I'll more than likely be able to get a lot of value from this Conqueror as the game goes on.
Definitely does make sense. I mean, you look at all the people jumping in onto him. Need that additional healing. Every little bit counts, as well as just the scaling AD is going to feel good. Zwyroo Nice bit of push there for a brief moment. Lane is relatively even in mid, but he does manage to get the vision down to at least loosely track what Lyncas is doing. Obviously, always a bit tricky with the
Vettheo
Ivern.
also missed all 4 of that CS underneath the tower, so that's just a little bit heartbreaking for him.
We don't talk about that. No, I'm kidding. No, that sucks. That is definitely not what you want from the start of your lane phases. Photon luckily gets level 3 first. Not sure what the cooldown is on Cold Meek. 3 seconds remaining, so should be able to heal back up. This is one of those extended laning phases that's going to be obnoxious. Hyilissang, nice connect. Knockup is there, but Aftershock still procced. Even though Hyilissang doesn't have the extra resistances from the W, does not matter. Aftershock makes sure that that trade isn't too punishing.
Guardy going to help out in that situation as well, but again, I don't mind you trying to go aggressive into this matchup. Oftentimes, the way that you want to try and play this as Leona into Rakan is getting those more aggressive trades and seeing that if Carzzy can't follow up with like the arcane shift forward, get into a lot of damage, but still, Heretics fairly healthy. And Vitality look like they want to try and get some action onto this bottom side.
Ward set to cover. Hyilissang can go in. Again, knock up there.
Carzzy.
Tower shot there. Carzzy getting caught out an immediate cleanse. But now the follow-up is coming through instantly over the wall. It's Vettheo and Lyncas to try to finish the kill. Flakked getting taken down. Carzzy picking up first blood. So far, nobody is dropped. It's a perfect tower dive. It should have been a disaster. Carzzy took so much damage, but Vitality make it work.
Yeah, I don't know if perfect is the word I give to it, as Carzzy definitely did not want to take that tower aggro to begin with, but good juggle after that to get rid of that aggro and make sure they're able to pick up the 2 kills.
Look, some people say journey before destination. I say destination first, Rob. All I see is an A, you know? It doesn't matter. Did you bribe the teacher with $50 to give you an A? You got an A, man. I'm not here to ask questions.
Fair.
And we can see here the circumstance a little bit questionable.
Yeah, nice job by Trymbi though. Kind of baits out the auto attack from Carzzy, but there's just nothing you can do. 4 people down here, a ton of damage, and as soon as Carzzy drops aggro, he's able to go underneath the tower. So 1 kill to Carzzy, 1 kill to Lyncas, which isn't the best, but you'll be more than happy the fact that you now have that quick Sheen purchase for Carzzy in the bottom side.
And this is where it gets scary, right? Because normally this first back, it's not going to feel too great, but when it's Cole versus Sheen tier, Carzzy now gets to spam to his heart's content. He is the kind of player who will jump up, who will get in Flakked's face, and look, in an even lane where nobody's doing anything, you're very happy to be the Zeri Rakan. When you're put at a deficit, it gets really tough really quickly, as Hyilissang just is tankier, has more reliable C early on, and the slipperiness of Trymbi, the playmaking that we so often see from Rakans in mid to late game, it's going to take a lot of time for him to get there.
Yeah, at least for Heretics side, you do have that kind of point-and-click CC on Jankos to try and lock down Carzzy, and you have relatively nice follow-up, but Jankos may need some help now.
Wandering in, root there, immediate chain, the flash coming out, but still gets rooted anyway. Vitality, again, aggression in the early game, just as you mentioned in picks and bans. This is the identity of the team, but really clean. Just these small individual advantages. Taking the flash away from Jankos. He hits level 6. He's not going to have access to that flash. That's devastating.
It's really nice to see Vettheo getting involved in these plays, though. Like, he had a good game yesterday in the early stages where he was able to get something, but kind of became relatively quiet as the game went on. But him linking up with Lyncas, getting into the face of Jankos, this is kind of what you wanted to see from Lyncas joining this team. Adding that aggression in the early stages and bringing some life to Vitality that's just outside of Hyilissang trying to roam around the map.
Crucial. And also has been on the same page multiple times with Vettheo and with Hyilissang on the bottom side. So good indicator of the development of this Vitality lineup. On the opposite side for Team Heretics, once they hit that level 6, really we're going to have to see what they can do. That Vi ultimate, crucial. Feels like such a reliable way to find any kills, to find any picks. You can see on the left-hand side of your screen, though, Janko's still pretty far away. And Zwyroo looking like he's in trouble. Lyncas, don't think he's going to overcommit on this one. Does not have info on where Jankos is. Slight suspicions as Jankos now seems like he has priority access to the grubs, having spotted Lyncas out, seeing the cooldowns burnt mid lane.
I thought we might see a dragon take coming through from Vitality. The fact that Zwyroo had no flash, Vettheo could have played pretty far up to deny him access into River, and with the push on bot they go for it, but looks like Lyncas not fully confident that they'll be able to go for that just the moment, so Jankos will be able to get the grubs, and Zwyroo burnt his flash, but not much else at the moment.
Wunder now wandering down just to make sure he keeps Photon engaged, while Jankos, you can see in the picture-in-picture, is just picking up the grubbies. Won't be contested there. Shouldn't get a notification till the third grub. And now Zwyroo, nice back step on the root. Nice side step as well. But there's a third man. Hyilissang here. The first 2 pieces of CC do not connect, but it does not matter because Hyilissang brings the third.
Yeah, third time's the harm in that one. Zwyroo ends up going down immediately, and there's just nothing you can do. It's so much to try and get away from.
Yeah, it's really tough when the footwork is clean. You dodge one, you dodge a second, there's just a Leona standing behind you. Yeah, again, the quintessential Indiana Jones moment where he just shoots you after you've been waving your sword around, dipping, ducking, diving. Yeah. Leona does the work, and Photon slowly building advantages here on the top side, just keeping Wunder forever pushed in. Wunder not able to do much in the lane phase thus far, and you can see bottom of your screen, look in the middle of that scoreboard, all those blue numbers. Every single position for Vitality is ahead. It is a 3K gold lead before 8 minutes. This is incredible stuff from Vitality early on. We've seen so consistently from this team. The one consistent portion has been that early game. But today and yesterday, they just feel like they walked away from week 1 unhappy, and we are seeing it very well represented here, exactly who the team that they want to be.
Yeah, now you can get the Dragon off that push and bottom side, just continue to extend this lead. And I mean, let's be real, this has kind of been where Vitality have looked incredibly strong. They have had no problem getting the early game leads. It's just been a case of having that continue forward as the game goes on. Now, yesterday, if it was any indicator, it feels like those times are very gone. But we'll have to see as this game continues to go on, whether Vitality can continue to keep up this pressure and keep extending their lead.
Nice timing there, finished the Drake, immediately grabbed the Scuttle Crab as well. Did not sweep the Tri-Brush though, so still good information for the side of Team Heretics. Zwyroo and Vettheo. I mean, tough for Zwyroo because you really just cannot be the proactive party in this lane. Always need to be responsive to the LeBlanc, and Vettheo just could continue to harass with the first strike. This is annoying as hell for the side of Team Heretics, Rob. They're at a massive deficit, again, so early in the game. The only thing they got is 3 grubs, but they don't have push anywhere on the map. It's not going to do anything.
And Heretics will get stronger as this game goes on, right? Zwyroo gets a couple of items, but Jankos needs to make something happen in the early stages if he wants to try and stop the bleeding, and it looks like topside going to be it. He wasn't spotted moving into that push, but I think it's more to just let Wunder push out this lane rather than actually go for any sort of play here.
Wunder backing up. Photon just trying to keep control of the lane. Looks like set up a freeze for himself, potentially. See what Wunder gets when he does finally recall. If this is something to help balance out the matchup a little bit. Again, Trymbi shows himself mid, but was spotted by Vettheo. So a lot of the plays that Team Heretics have fished for, set up vision for, really have not come through yet. And now Photon's zoning Wunder off. That sucks. Jankos was right there, but they just couldn't fully get the wave in. I feel like they just assumed that Photon was going to respect it, and he did not.
This is spots on Trymbi though. Help on the horizon. Lyncas, our Vettheo just moved across to help Lyncas.
Ooh, double dash in and just jumps right back out. Again, Team Heretics feels like they're looking in the right spots, but they're just not quite all on the same page to pull the trigger. Trymbi gonna dash back.
I can understand what Heretics are doing though. They're like, hey, chances are with 40 seconds until grubs, we're gonna see the reset from Hilly, move top, try and make a play off the push.
Forward flare, hang on. Going warrior. Zwyroo again dodges 2 pieces of CC. Hyilissang.
They should be
not gonna throw another one.
He has TP. But yeah, they want to try and make a play on the opposite side to void grubs, but it doesn't quite work out for them. So now Vitality kind of going to respond in kind, move into this bottom side. They should try and contest for the void grubs. You don't want to give 6 across to Heretics, but looking at maybe a potential dive on this bottom side again.
And I mean, again, Carzzy, this is not the strong point for the Ezreal. He hasn't finished the Triforce. He's on bits and pieces, he's on components, but he's still just so far ahead of Flakked, it does not matter. And when he does hit that item break point, you know, no one is really that tanky on the side of Team Heretics other than Wunder. These Qs are really going to hurt around a fight, around an objective. EP back to mid lane, coming in from Vettheo as Carzzy just continue to harass Flakked. Does not miss, except for that ulti. Wow, Caster Curse, real time. Photon has TP as well, trying to get a bit of extra damage down on Wunder just to make the lane favor him that much more. And Wunder sadly not going to be able to do much other than get that ranged grasp proc courtesy of the Poppy passive.
You have got the teleport coming back in for Vettheo in the mid lane, and you can just see how far ahead he is. Already that Luden's Companion completed. You get a second reset for Zwyroo there just to finish off his lost chapter. So you're in a very good position as Vettheo if you want to try and contest for some of these objectives. But Jankos, again, with all the interest Vitality shown on the bottom side, is now going to start up grubs, but steals 1, and he's happy. Now you get the Void Mites for yourselves.
Yeah, and once this is here, he's going to finish the objective, but now that the buff is off the table, now that Team Heretics have already hit that 4 threshold to start spawning the mites, it's some gold, it's some experience. It doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot, right? Will help the push. You've seen Photon already has been a terror. He's now been assigned to the bottom side of the map to keep that push up, as Carzzy and the rest of the team ready here on the top side. Of course, Team Heretics are in position to respond. Did already get the Void Grub buff that they came for, so Flakked getting to the lane a little bit later shouldn't cost them much of anything.
Looks like they were considering moving Zwyroo up to maybe fish for a play if Vitality were going to overextend on that top side, but with mid wave now cleared, both teams just going to clear it out. But yeah, Wunder was very late on the reset, so
Wunder was very late on the reset.
Photon.
Photon was so far ahead on the reset, he didn't even have to TP. Walks bot lane, gets a couple of plates too. So while Flakked didn't lose out a lot, Wunder lost out a ton in that exchange.
Yeah, I mean, now nearly 1,000 gold for Photon, and essentially you're getting into position. Oh, actually, Vitality going to look for this in the top end.
I think they're just happy to zone them off. Hyilissang following up. Good damage onto Trymbi, but again, zoning them away, denying so much CS, getting more gold over to Carzzy. The character development that has happened in a single week of time, Rob, is insane. Hyilissang, though, caught out. Nice punish attempt from Trymbi, but the redemption already built, already completed from Lyncas. Stops that potential punishment from coming through. Trymbi now down in ultimate, still has his flash, no cleanse on Flakked. Carzzy should just be able to recall and pick up that Trinity Force for himself.
And one of the biggest criticisms I had of Vitality last split, though, was that they try and make these plays when they had no vision on the map, but like, look how good they've been at just setting up across the board where they can spot out people. So the reason they went for that topside play was they just spotted Jankos clearing out his bot side jungles. We're like, cool, we have numbers advantage, and even if Zwyroo comes in, we still have the opportunity to just take that play. So it really is a step up from Vitality when it comes to not only the consistency at what they're finding their plays, but how they're just covering their bases before they try and get these setups as well.
And while the game isn't over yet, thus far, while it's only 3 kills, it's still a massive gold lead. 3.5k. Flakked getting a couple plates back. But so far, Team Heretics have not really made a single play on the map outside of Jankos going for both grub spawns, right? An attempt at a punish topside from Trymbi, otherwise a very quiet game, and it's just credit to Vitality for limiting so many of these opportunities, so many of what very well would have been potential windows against Vitality in week 1. A team much cleaner here in week 2, not giving those angles to Team Heretics, as it's going to be a Drake for Herald trade. Hyilissang hovering around might cost him. Knock up there, flick back there, good damage. Ezreal coming across, not going to steal it. Hyilissang still standing for a brief moment, should just be able to grab the kill. Photon not able to zone the rest of the team away, and, well, right as I say it, Hyilissang does get caught out. Herald taken down in the bottom lane. Vettheo continues to harass, but Team Heretics happy to have the Herald and a kill to boot.
Yeah, yesterday we saw him being a useless at these objectives pay off, where he kind of bought enough time for his team to make it there, but this time around it comes back to bite him now. Photon up against Flakked and Trymbi. Jankos is on this top side, so I'm curious if they just go, hey, we're going to plunk this Rift Herald down and try and get this top turret, but I feel like you kind of want to crack open this mid lane turret a little bit, so then you can open up the side lane plays for Zwyroo.
It's also just tough for them to die. They really do need Jankos there if they're going to go for it, or at least Trymbi's Ignite to be off cooldown. A lot of healing coming in from Photon, early Black Cleaver as well. Powerful itemization, and Renekton, of course, notorious for turning around those 2v1s, especially against, well, a Flakked who until a moment ago had bits and pieces. Luckily now has finished the static ship, does mean the wave clear will be that much faster, offers a bit of additional damage in team fights as well if you're able to find kills. So, good signs for Team Heretics. Need to stop the bleeding, however, for Vitality. Just have to keep their foot on the gas without giving it all away, which is, we've talked about multiple times now, was really their Achilles heel in week 1.
Yeah, but again, like, look at their lurings here. You got 1, 2, 3 wards that are popped up here. Now Vettheo is going to kill Trymbi thanks to that vision.
Dash forward, Trymbi dashing out. Second follow-up, Celestial opposition, mitigating a lot of that damage, and Vettheo wasn't able to get a cooldown there. Vettheo now has to be careful. Zwyroo waiting right here, however, the control ward giving him all the info he needs. His Team Heretics finally starting to clear out a bit of these vision.
But it just makes it very hard for Heretics to make these plays, because their Vitality are always a step ahead because they just have more information to play with. I think that's been the biggest upgrade for Vitality over the last 2 days. It's just been how good their vision control has been and being able to play off this. Hyilissang linking up now with Vettheo, so then they can become a big threat. And when you've got so much CC and just outright damage between Vettheo and Hyilissang, it becomes very difficult to play into that.
Definitely, especially when Hyilissang's packing Ignite, right? There's not a lot of champions who are going to be able to stand up to that first rotation. Already seeing magic penetration come in as Hyilissang looks like he's been once again caught out. Nice knockback from the side of Team Heretics. Ulti going wide. Hyilissang looks like might have just jumped out of the redemption, not where he wanted to go. Hyilissang still lives though. He's still alive, and I guess it was all just a bait. Photon TB and Vettheo on the black line. Uncontested Flakked deleted in the blink of an eye. The LeBlanc already doing so much work. Vettheo just going to hop back to the distortion mark and take out another. Vitality taking the fight with confidence. It looked like it might have been an in, but that man was making a hell of a lot of space for Vettheo to get it done.
The TP committed from Photon to make sure he could get in there, and some fancy footwork from Hyilissang means the Vitality are able to get the play, get the mid lane tower for themselves as well. And I mean, Heretics, they just look dizzy after that one.
I was dizzy. What? I mean, surely that should have been the kill, but Hyilissang now already Warmogs completed, Blood Song on top of that. You can't be 100% confident anymore. Unless you've got the damage to instantly delete Hyilissang. It might be a bait all along, and this time, well, we'll call it a bait. I'm not sure what it was, but it worked out.
It was sick moving from Hilly, though. Immediately walks towards the bush to bait out the Rakan's knock-up, so dodges away from that. Then ends up in the middle of everyone, but Photon TPing in, forces Heretics to move back. Vettheo had already got pushed on top, so he's able to join in. And just as the little heals and shields coming through from Lyncas is able to keep him up with some nice footwork. And Vettheo is just following up so well then onto the rest of the kills. And Carzzy on this Ezreal as well. The mobility just playing such a big factor in chasing down the members of Heretics.
And Heretics, when they're at this kind of deficit, if they use those cooldowns and don't immediately have a man advantage, they're going to get picked apart. That's what we saw there. It still took time, right? Vettheo had to dash in. He had to wait for the chain to expire. When we're at a later stage of the game, he won't have the luxury of that time, even if he has a bit more damage. But Team Heretics can't afford to be this far behind and also make mistakes on top of that. Overcommit resources to try to kill Hyilissang. Even if they had gotten that kill, it would have cost them so much.
And now Vitality in a great position. You've got the LeBlanc, who is incredibly strong, and going up against Zwyroo, who just can't really match against her right now. So Vettheo gets to play with a lot of freedom where he can push in these waves, and that's why Trymbi is here to try and help. But there you go, that's the thing. Vettheo dashes away, Jankos going to move up, but this opens up now numbers advantages mid. They don't really have the push on bot side right now, but with Dragon in 20 seconds, this many members of Heretics being up here is just disastrous.
Well, now they see Jankos, they see Trymbi there, and it's just permission for them to do whatever the hell they want on the bottom side, and what they want to do is to kill Wunder. Hyilissang taken out of the equation, but that's a massive chunk onto Flakked. Wunder now down already. Flakked can't afford to step up. Carzzy on a rampage, and Zwyroo, with the support of Jankos, they're going to get this tower back. They're going to get this bounty, but likely to lose at least a bit of damage on the tier 2 on the bottom side of the map, and certainly the Drake, as Infernal is up and available for Vitality.
Trymbi just trying to keep away from Hyilissang and Lyncas. They don't realize that Vettheo's there. Might just come over the wall and try and pop out Zwyroo, but 3v4, I don't think he got this.
Trymbi locked up, should just die here, does manage to use the ultimate, trying to lock up Vettheo. Vettheo not going back, does get caught out, should just get shut down here. Big for the side of Team Heretics, a bit over eager to find that punish. The Drake does go down, but Vitality getting a bit ahead of themselves, wanted to make the fast play, wanted to stop the counterplay from Team Heretics, and instead give up a shutdown and give up another objective bounty.
Carzzy was on the Dragon, it was just 3 versus 4. Photon wasn't in position to try and follow up, so as you say, Vitality just that step too far forward now. Might actually try and catch someone as they look over the resets here.
What's this? Zwyroo backing up.
Hilly wants this.
Yes, he does. You can see Lyncas take a back step. Hyilissang did not take any back step. Hyilissang hunting. TP coming out. Daisy on the way in. Solar Flare. Hilly takes his sweet time with it. Anticipation. Zwyroo. Oh, his hands had to be shaking. Just wanted to make it out to safety, but Hilly does not let it happen.
And Vitality now set their sights on a Baron. I don't know how you're supposed to try and deal with this as Heretics. Like, you have so much control here. Vettheo just gets to take pop shots and maybe, I was about to say, take Flakked below her third HP.
Mean, if the chain had hit, that would have been 75% of his HP gone. Baron is there. Jankos about to have smite up. 8K, Wunder with the ulti. There are tools to stop this play from happening, but Vitality more than happy to just start the fight. Photon in the midst of the entire team. Baron no longer the objective. All of Vitality ready to go over the wall. But Wunder, a beautiful knockback onto 3. Flakked immediately get all the lightning crash coming through. Hyilissang gonna get taken down, and that Baron stopped dead.
Wunder with the home run play. Everyone at Vitality thought they were going over the front wall, but they're sent out the back door instead. Great from Wunder. Pick and also denying that Baron is huge for Heretics.
And obviously losing out in the lane phase, losing out in the 1v1, but this is the utility the Poppy can bring to bear.
Yeah, and you can see Wunder was thinking of sending a Photon, but I don't know, actually, was that I think the Baron stunned them up right as the ultimate came through from the Poppy. And then Hyilissang is the one that has to go down as the rest of Vitality are sent packing, but really nice job. You can see Lyncas a little bit heartbroken with that one.
Bit of frustration. If a pro player ever touches their nose, they're frustrated. We learned that one from Otawamne. The nose touch.
You'd read that, like, one book
it's
from
shared.
The CIA
it's been
agency.
shared. They touch anywhere near their nose. No, I mean, it's not conclusive, but, you know, a lot of evidence to suggest. Not a scientist. That said, Vitality holding on to a massive lead. 2 minutes and 30 seconds until Soul will be on the table for them. The good news for the side of Team Heretics, of course, you still have an immense amount of playmaking. You saw what Wunder can do. Trymbi on the Rakan. No stranger to making game-winning plays. But it's going to be a tough one. And a lot of it's going to come down to how well they can protect Flakked, how well they can allow him to do the damage necessary. He is the carry on this team.
But he still needs another item.
Yeah.
He's just not quite there. And as you kind of alluded to, Carzzy in a great position. He's already completed his 2 items, working up towards a third. Hits onto Flakked as Vitality, you can see the confidence that they have stepping forward. They're kind of just taunting Heretics, saying, come at me.
And it's so tough because not only do they have the goalie, they got the Ezreal who's just going to Mystic Shot and ulti every midway that he wants to, stopping Team Heretics from pushing too far forward. Trymbi almost caught out there as Vettheo just jumps over the wall. Celestial opposition. Going to get procced. Trymbi backing up, but again, you have to be careful. The first LeBlanc combo may not kill you, but the second one surely will if Vettheo is able to find the connection. And he isn't in a rush. Again, this is the LeBlanc poke mage we talk about. Bad LeBlancs, they get over eager. You know, they just try to do one combo. They want to live that assassin dream. But in pro play, you have the vision advantage. Jump out, do 50%, walk away. That is a win for the LeBlanc, for the side of Vitality. Team Heretics really do not want to let that happen.
But even if you don't get the kill, you're still pulling Heretics to the threat of Vettheo, and it's giving Photon the opportunity to push in bot waves. You're losing a wave there. Now Vettheo goes back into topside. You're going to start to put pressure on towards the tier 2. Vitality are still getting plays elsewhere on the map alongside chunking out Heretics. And with a minute now until Infernal Soul for Vitality, they need a pick, but their entire jungle just feels lit up by blue wards right now.
And I just don't know. One pick is a good start, but if it's a pick and the rest of Vitality are here to start a fight to follow up on it, might not be that favorable. You can see now that even walking into the darkness here feels like a threat. Team Heretics don't want to engage on Hyilissang. The shielding coming in from the Ivern already super hard for them to deal with when they're behind in terms of overall damage.
It does feel sad when you're trying to stake set and all you hear is woo! Trying to build the tension.
This has been like a Foley artist's dream. Those are the people who make like sound effects. You got the clothing. We've got the woo! Oh, woo! Fight starting off. Trymbi already getting chunked out. And again, Vitality don't have to overcommit here. Wunder really wants to start something. Carzzy dominating, sniping them from behind. Flakked is starting to get cut down, but he manages to get his way over the wall. The rest of the team set up to body block for him. But Vettheo waiting off to the side. But Vettheo isn't about it. It's about Photon diving in, calling the meat. Carzzy playing cleanup. Vitality obliterating Team Heretics in the fight. It's a double for Photon. They're going to donate this one over to Vettheo. Hell, no, they won't. I take it back. I forgot who I was talking about. You remember Soaz? Well, this is a second-generation Wunder. Out like Houdini. Does live, but the price of his life is going to be the Infernal Soul.
Heretics didn't even know where to turn in that fight. Carzzy's coming from one way, Vettheo another. You got the rest of Vitality in another direction. Nowhere is safe. Trymbi ends up getting sniped off the back of this by a great ultimate from Carzzy, but on the bottom side of the fight, you can see Lyncas, Hilly, Photon are all doing work on towards Flakked, and as Zwyroo tries to black away, he runs into Vettheo, so he's going to flash over the wall, and Photon then gets into a great position here, flashing forward, gets Q off onto multiple people, keeping himself topped up. And now, Trymbi in the pit. They might have found Wunder.
Wunder is not tanky. Again, early Crypt Bloom. That additional magic penetration on top of now an Infernal Soul. And it looks like in that last fight, 3-man Daisy knockup, allowing Photon to double dash through, to find that angle into the back line. And again, if you're Team Heretics, there's a world where you stall this game for another 10 minutes, get another item, and you find a way to fight front to back. But that world is not this one. CC's coming in from Hyilissang. He's just going to keep walking forward. Patience on the Zenith Blade. Doesn't want to get caught out by the minefield, but you can see every Q that hits from Carzzy, taking massive chunks out of those health bars. Rush being set up by Lyncas, and Team Heretics, this has to be just such an infuriating match to play. 1-0-12 for Lyncas. Didn't opt for an early book. I respect that. A lot of Ivern straight to the book. This man, you know, he's taking it serious. He remembers week 1. Doesn't want to risk giving away 1,000 gold worth of stats with a death as Vettheo. Again, will not be caught out.
But you could just have 1,000 gold worth of stats. You know? Odds and ends. Swings around.
Yeah. Look, I'm a big fan of reading in the game of League of
I do like death books.
Yeah, it's good. Whatever you're about, you know. The book is the right choice, not the lost chapter.
And it feels fitting with the start of Ivern. Not the end part, you know, just the first portion.
Yeah, I think it lines up nicely. Fairy tale. That said,
It's pretty grim.
Pretty grim. The Ivern lore. Don't look it up. It's very weird to think about how he ended up this particularly happy Bob Ross-esque character. Is 7K, getting lower on the Baron. Jankos hoping to find a way into the pit. Jankos into the pit, but they've stopped. They pulled away from the Baron. They did the damage that they needed to do. Carzzy now legendary. Zwyroo has taken down Vettheo. Team Heretics, maybe they can get out. Could be happy that the Baron has been taken down. Knockback coming through from Wunder. Jankos off to the side, 1v1ing versus Daisy. He doesn't want that fight, and Vitality, they're scattered, but they're still standing. Only Vettheo will drop, and that means they can just turn right back to the Baron.
Jankos trying desperately to clear out that wave on top side, make sure there's nothing for Vitality to chase on, but it only buys about 30 seconds until this next wave arrives. Carzzy tries to snipe him over the wall, but won't find him. But still, Vitality should be able to crack the base now with this Baron buff.
Yeah, at this point, they can't be making plays that buy them 30 seconds or a minute. They need to be making plays that buy them an Infinity Edge. Or a 5th item, you know, more money. Because right now, Wunder can't even step up. Again, for so much of this game, he should have been tanky despite losing out in the individual 1v1. But Carzzy's starting to hurt. Armor Pen coming through. Magic Pen there for Vettheo. 2.1k individual gold lead for him. 2.1 for Carzzy as well as he finishes the Lord Dominix. This is brutal.
And I love the Spirit Visage purchase from Photon. There's actually a ton of magic damage that comes out from Zeri, especially when you're going for the static shiv build, and then like our ultimate doing increased magic damage as well. So the value you get from this purchase is insane, which is why you're kind of seeing the Mortal Reminder coming out, because not only do you get the increased healing, but that magic resist is doing so much work for Photon.
I mean, he's already just so hard to kill. Sterix on top of that, so much tenacity, Ninja Tabby to mitigate the little bit of damage the Jankos and Flakked are doing to him. For Team Heretics, it's really the classic situation of push out of your base as much as you can after you've picked up your waves. You can see Hyilissang here doing a Hyilissang classic of just standing next to the creep wave, empowering it, daring Team Heretics to overcommit onto him. As he moves up with the sieging minions. Vettheo, poke onto Flakked. That's nice. Knockup is good. Vettheo now flick back. The change is good, and they manage to take him down. Team Heretics. Signs of life. Have to be careful, though. The fall from Vitality. Hyilissang now coming in. Carzzy ready to keep this one going. Redemption over the top of the entire team. Photon hasn't even gotten involved yet, but they managed to take down another. Carzzy still hasn't been able to find the kill, however. Vitality pushing into the base, looking to break the back of Team Heretics, but Team Heretics standing strong, taking out Vettheo, taking out Hyilissang. Vitality overcommitting. How much more will they lose here? Backstep, arcane shift from Carzzy. But again, Vitality seem undeterred. They want to keep pushing.
Defender's advantage about to come in clutch, though, for Heretics. Jankos gets the reset now coming out, so you still have 4 members of Heretics versus the 3 of Vitality. How confident are Vitality?
Incredibly confident. Wunder stunned up, Wunder deleted. Carzzy continues to walk forward. Now he's the front line. Photon double dashing through, getting the double. Following up, there's nothing left for Team Heretics. Carzzy now legendary, 20-7 the kill score. A massive, massive gold lead for Vitality. And just like yesterday, they're showing us perfection in the mid game. Still telltale signs of the classics. Still a few oopsies here and there. Still a bit of aggressive maneuvering. But ultimately, the win is theirs. And Team Heretics really did not get to participate in this particular game of League of Legends.
Now that Croc's about to get a movie series after that massacre at the end of the game. Incredible stuff from Photon and Carzzy, and this is incredible stuff from Vitality. A lot of people kind of looking at them after the first week going, hang on a second, lads, this is not what we signed up for, but the fans definitely going to be able to rally behind them after an incredible performance this week.
And I think a win, an excellent start. Of course, vote for your key player of the game at LEC on X. Lyncas, Carzzy, or Hyilissang are your options. But Lyncas and Hyilissang, the 2 guys I want to mention, because while you can be happy with the wins as a Vitality fan, you'd be happy with a cleaner mid game. The other big thing when we're tracking team development is Lyncas and Hyilissang working much better together with this particular pairing. Vettheo coming in as well. So team synergy across the board up on the side of Team Vitality, and it's paying off. Of course, on a separate note, you can pre-register for pre-sale access to tickets for the EMEA Masters and LEC Finals in Munich, now at lec.gg/Munich. So be sure to do that. Leave a round of applause to the victorious Vitality. We're going to head to a quick break. When we return, Lyncas is going to stand by, have an interview with Lore.
Red Bull gives you wings.